As you can see, this piece of shit is not working properly, and I'm very frustrated and disappointed. I will have to replace that middle piece, that between the main rotor and the adapter, the shiny one. That middle piece is a cast iron piece, and I have two options. Either I rebuild it from scratch, which is going to cost a lot in materials and machining, because there will be high material losses. It will have to be machined from one big chunk of metal, and the other option will be to deconstruct the whole Outrunner, disassemble it, and have this external part removed. Well, have the rotor removed from the inside of the Outrunner, and take this whole external part, that shiny bearing adapter from the back, coupled with the actual rotor, and with these parts, with the adapter and that middle piece, that cast iron piece, and take them to the machine shop and have them fastened into a huge lathe chuck, and ask the machinist to scrape that cast iron piece from excess material and have it centered, and drill other holes for that shiny adapter, so that when all is done and I will have to fasten the adapter to the freshly machined cast iron piece, there will be no wobbling of the Outrunner. From what I have observed, I have looked for over half an hour at it spinning slowly, and I had figured out that only the front end of the Outrunner wobbles pretty badly, while the back end wobbles only a little, which means that the main axial play is in the front of the Outrunner, and it can only come from that cast iron piece, because being cast iron and not being machined at all, you can see it's impurities. Well, not impurities, it's the material is not finished as that shiny adapter plate is, which indicates that it is only cast and then maybe sandblasted, and that's it. No machining, no nothing, except for the inner part, which goes to the which is attached to the actual rotor, that big portion. And well, I will have to give this a try. It's going to be a pain in the ass disassembling this whole setup. I can tell you it is very heavy as it is. I can't raise it up with my own strength. It will need two people to pick this whole setup, to lift it from the ground, and even so it will be extremely heavy. But I will have to disassemble the Outrunner and give it a try. Thank you for your attention. Any suggestions are welcome. And oh, by the way, I just wanted to tell you that I have measured the outrunner. I don't know at what RPM because my tachometer had remained without energy in its batteries and I could not measure the RPM, but I could estimate at, I don't know, 1800 RPM. Only one winding of the outrunner was generating approximately, I don't know, let's say roughly 5 volts, which is kind of disappointing because I have expected a bit more from this converted outrunner. Initially, when it was operating as a motor, it generated 200 volts at, I don't know, 85 amps DC, and this was with only 6 windings generating at one time, because it had 6 brushes contacting the commutator, and it has internally 6 magnets. So I'm thinking that every magnet is inducing one of the 6 coils, and through the 6 brushes the energy comes to the DC end of the motor, which is used as a generator. And in this configuration, with every winding separated, it is generating only 5 volts per winding at, let's say, 1800 RPM. Its nominal RPM before it was modified, when it was operating as a DC servo motor, was 2100 RPM. And considering this, I think 5 volts is a bit lame for one winding. But I haven't measured amperage yet of the winding when it is generating, and I haven't tried coil shorting on it yet because of the stupid wobbling, which pisses me off, and I'll have to solve that before I can crank it up real fast. This RV runs at 3000 RPM, and I can crank it that fast. That middle bearing, the green one inside the housing, resists up to 3000 RPM, and it would be nice if I could crank it up and see how it goes. So I have to try coil shorting on it, then I will have to try resonating, conventional resonance. So I will have to try resonating each coil and see how much can I get from it at 3000 RPM. And then I will have to try the diode plug and resonating the coil from an empty state, from the capacitor's empty state of energy. So that means when the capacitor is down to 0 volts and the coil is being induced by the magnet, it already starts to resonate up until the up until the peak of the sine wave, the top of the sine wave, and then when the other magnet comes and induces the opposite half wave, the negative half wave, the other capacitor will start to resonate in the same fashion. For this, I will need something that will always drain my capacitor of energy, so that when the next induction cycle starts for that capacitor, it will start inducing it from 0. The magnet will start inducing the coil, and the capacitor will start resonating from 0 volts, and the cycle continues. I don't know what more to say. I'm really pissed off. And well, my quest continues. I have also experimented with some jewel thieves and found that I can recover a lot of energy without any expense of additional energy on the battery. I have experimented with a battery, and then I have experimented with a lab power supply, and the results are the same.